Whether if you want to run the Southampton Marathon, half marathon or the 10K, there are three main areas you need to focus. The nutrition is one of the elements you should definitely include in your preparation.
One of the main ones people think about is carbohydrate loading, and that's what you do in about the week before the event, and that's just making sure that you eat more things that are rich in starch, such as pasta, such as perhaps even carrot cake, something like that. So just trying to get the energy stores up to the top. But the other thing that's often overlooked is hydration. So it's not just about the food that you eat, it's about making sure that your liquid is in as well. And actually, quite interestingly, people tend to overhydrate when they're doing the race, so that when they see the water stations, they think that they should be drinking every time. And that's not necessarily true. So the idea with it is to make sure that you don't gain or lose any weight after the event. So if you're losing weight, then it suggests that perhaps you're not drinking enough, and if you're gaining weight, it suggests that you're drinking too much. So making sure that you focus both on your carbohydrates and on your hydration is a fantastic tip for race day.
The resistance training is also indispensable for boost and sustain your performance.
As you get closer and closer to the event, you typically need to start running further and further distances that are more close to the actual event that you're going to be running. Number one tip is include some resistance training or strength training in your preparation program. A strong athlete is a robust athlete, less likely to get injured. And the real key is keeping yourself strong to reduce that injury risk, so you can spend more time actually practicing specifically for the event, which is either running a half marathon, a marathon, or a 10K. So that would be my focus. And it doesn't need to be complicated. It can be nice and simple. A simple, full body resistance training program done 1 to 2 times a week at relatively low volume is all anyone needs really to keep themselves strong enough to reduce injuries.
The warm-up and stretching are key points to get an efficient and effective movement.
Well, firstly, I'd make sure that they did assess themselves, because very often runners don't even know that they've got dysfunction or asymmetries in the body. So these simple assessments will allow them to identify any issues that they've actually got. And then the tips are really to work on the areas where they find maybe an asymmetry between the left and the right side, maybe some foam rolling followed by some stretching, but really targeting the muscles where they need it rather than just stretching for the sake of stretching. Assuming they find some dysfunction, the actual corrective approach can take, it can be as quick as 2 or 3 minutes to get a release and therefore a change in their function, or it can be something that's needed for a much longer period of time.
Well, if you want to take part of this event on the 22nd of April, you now know everything you need. Miguel Machado, That's TV.